We're really lucky to have so many great European cities right on our doorstep, just waiting to be rediscovered.
I don't know anywhere else you can get this many different sounds, colours and, of course, smells. Look at that.
And a weekend escape is a brilliant and easy way to explore them.
I am loving this. Feast your eyes on Venice.
So I'm going to have loads of amazing food.
Go on, baby. Sizzle. Sizzle! I may have found the best food in Amsterdam.
See some amazing sights.
Colosseum!
This is the famous Checkpoint Charlie.
Wow. This is stunning.
And check out the culture of each city.
You are the bravest people in Europe, and maybe the craziest.
Guys, I'm inside the fountain. I'm part of the Trevi Fountain.
So I'll be packing lots.
Ooh. Come and have a look at this.
Into my 3-day trips.
Oh, wow. We're up on the roof. There is beer, there is wine, there is sunshine music, and there are lots and lots of smiles.
Showing you how to get the most out of a weekend getaway.
I feel like Audrey Hepburn.
4 hours from London is the huge metropolis of Istanbul, which lies bang on the border of Europe and Asia. Home to over 15 million people, Istanbul is Europe's biggest city and draws visitors in with its distinct mix of history, culture and street food.
Well, I've made it. This is Istanbul.
Though it's one of the longer flights in Europe, I've made it in time for an afternoon in the city.
I love it here, although I have to admit, it is a rather adventurous option for a long weekend. Half the city is in Asia. So this weekend, I want to figure out whether the slightly longer flight time is worth it and whether you can do justice to this city at the end of Europe in just 3 days.
I skipped lunch on the plane, so I've got the perfect excuse to get stuck into one of my favourite things in Istanbul, the street food. Well, the hotel can wait.
One, please.
Yes.
Oh, fabulous. Look at that. That sandwich there is £2, and they've actually been selling cooked sandwiches on the quayside here since the 19th century. Fishing boats would come in here, and the excess would be cooked and sold as sandwiches. It looks different, smells different, it is different. Embrace it, it's good.
My friend, yes, please.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, you're welcome. Ah. But it's a delicious fresh mackerel sandwich. Think of it like a fish finger sandwich without the breadcrumbs. Come on. We've got 3 days and a lot to see.
I'm staying in Sultan Ahmet, the historical heart of the city, because the streets are a bit more peaceful and the hotels are known for their fantastic views.
It's a nice big room, but what I really want is out here. Come on, come and have a look at this. Look at that. That is the iconic Hagia Sophia.
Built 1,500 years ago, the Hagia Sophia was the biggest church in the Roman Empire until the coming of the Ottomans, who turned it into a mosque in the 1450s.
500 years later, Turkey is a secular state, and then it becomes a museum. Today, it's back as a mosque again, and I think the Hagia Sophia perfectly illustrates the many layers of culture and history there are to explore in Istanbul.
Istanbul's prime location on 2 continents is what made it such an important place. So for me, the first stop has to be Asia. And a ferry ride's the perfect way to get a proper view of the city.
Now, how many cities in the world do you know that you can do a day trip that takes you from Europe to Asia and back again? I love this, don't you? the sea and the lovely sea air. This is the famous Bosphorus, and it runs straight through the middle of Istanbul.
This 19-mile-long strait links the Black Sea with the Mediterranean, so it's one of the most strategic waterways in the world. 48,000 ships pass through here every year, making it busier than the Suez and Panama Canals.
A weekend away in Istanbul is different to other cities. I think it's more of an adventure. I mean, even this ferry ride from one part of the city to the other is an adventure.
Over on the Asian side is the Kadikoy district, famous for its amazing street food, so it's the perfect place to indulge my passion. It's known to be hectic here, so it could be a bit daunting. But with the right guide, it'll be a proper adventure.
Hello, Eileen.
Hi, Greg.
I'm hungry.
Okay, let's walk and see what's...
Where we go? Where do we go?
Okay.
I want to learn about street food.
Yeah, in Turkey, street food is slightly different. We are not talking about food carts, but single dish eateries, specialized on one single dish only. So it's like a food crawl, and you have your soup in one shop and fried mussels, maybe in another shop, and then you can have your pudding or sweet in another shop.
That is amazing. This I need to see.
Okay, let's go.
This area is packed with one-dish shops, selling everything from stuffed mussels to smoked fish. But Eileen's decided we should try something people come from all over the city to feast on.
What do they do here?
We are going to taste lahmacun. So it's mincemeat on a very flat, crispy bread.
This is pizza.
It is similar to pizza. It's the same concept. You have something you cannot really cook that good at home, and you go for a specialty shop to eat it.
But unlike its Italian cousin, these flatbreads aren't topped with cheese. Instead, it's all about the meat.
Whoa!
So that's the lahmacun. You can feel the crunch. It's very crisp.
That is so thin and crispy. And that is meat, soft meat with some peppers and a lot of garlic. That is absolutely delicious. And that is a pound. Everything about this is mind-blowing. Specialist shops with beautiful food at the cheapest prices I think I have ever seen. Brilliant. Have you got other foods as good as this?
Let's go.
Lead on.
Okay, I want you to taste kokoreç. It's lamb intestines rolled into like a giant sausage.
Really? The thing is, if you're going to be away in another country, OK, push the boat out. Don't be scared. Have a little sample. What's the matter with you? Get in there. I like him. He has the glasses and he has the head. He's a good-looking man.
Yeah.
It's as if you've got a crispy bacon sandwich and you've put chili sauce on it. Honestly, it's absolutely lovely.
And it's cheap food, just for a pound.
Cheap as chips. Even chips are more expensive than this. What next?
I have a surprise for you.
Before our next dish, Eileen reckons it's time for a classic palate cleanser.
So this is a turşu shop.
A what?
Turşu is the word for pickles in Turkish. We always have pickles, like a palate cleanser.
And these guys have really gone to town on the selection. There are classics like cucumber, but also chilies, melon and okra.
Pickles are very good also to have the pickle brine juiced as a drink.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, why try it?
That is like falling over in the sea when you are paddling. That's an acquired taste. Let's go.
Okay.
Palate cleansed, it's time for pud. And Eileen has something she's very keen for me to try.
Wow.
So I have ordered 2. It's 4 ingredients only.
This is tavuk gurja, a delicacy once served to Ottoman sultans.
What are they? Sugar, milk?
It's rice, but there's one more ingredient. You can actually see it.
What is in it?
It's chicken. You are eating a chicken pudding.
No way.
Chicken breast is boiled and then pounded so that it breaks into the fibers.
That's incredible.
It's a recipe dating back to the year 1000.
That is a thick blancmange. It tastes not too sweet, creamy, milky most certainly, but most certainly not of chicken. I want to thank you so much. I've so much enjoyed this. When you're away, it's really worth searching out delicacies and things you might not have had before. Just be brave, right?
Coming up,
Oh, wow. It's beautiful.
I find out about Istanbul's fascinating history
This is stunning.
and get stuck in at a flame-grilled kebab heaven.
This may be some of the softest lamb I've ever tasted. I think I might be falling in love.
I'm on an adventurous long weekend in one of my favourite cities, Istanbul. This is a city with a lot of history. It's only been called Istanbul for less than a century. Before that, it was Constantinople and Byzantium. I've organised a guide, Edda, who's promised to reveal the many identities of this city.
Hello, Edda.
Yes.
Listen, I need to know the origins of this beautiful city. I want a little bit of history. Why have you brought me here?
Basically because there are layers of history here. This was a church that was built during the Byzantine era when this was the capital of the Roman Empire, Constantinople.
The Roman Emperor Constantine moved his capital from Rome to Byzantium in the 4th century and renamed it Constantinople. A convert to Christianity, he built many churches here, like this one, Zerek, which is now a mosque. Edda wants to show me some clues that reveal its Roman roots.
Edda, what do you want to show me in here?
Let's start with the cross back there. This building is a 12th century Byzantine church turned into a mosque, but that right there is a Byzantine cross.
Right. So that is an obvious symbol of Christianity.
During its time as the capital of the Byzantine Empire, Constantinople controlled land that stretched from Spain to Syria and brought huge wealth to the city.
I want to show you some of the walls. The marble is cut into two and opened like a page of a book. It's called the bookmark technique, and the Byzantines used this a lot.
The history is literally coming out the walls, and it's one layer built onto another, onto another. Spectacular. Show me more.
Okay, we have some work to do. Let's go.
Work to do?
Yes.
I'm on holiday. Oh, my word. What, you got mosaic flooring? Oh, wow.
So, the mosaic flooring was found in 1950s during the renovation, and they covered it up later on with this glass, and it's from the 12th century.
Absolutely beautiful. So, Byzantine, Christian church, later on a mosque.
Yes.
But the symbols of Byzantium and Christianity are all around us.
They are.
But Constantinople's position as the centre of the Christian world changed in 1453, when the Ottoman Turks invaded the city and made it the capital of an even more powerful empire. And they didn't just convert churches into mosques, they built new ones that still dominate the city skyline to this day.
Oh, wow. It's beautiful. What's it called?
Süleymaniye. Süleyman the Magnificent, he wanted a mosque to be built under his name. And under his rule, the Ottomans enlarged their land to Central Eastern Europe, parts of the Middle East, North Africa, and of course, current Turkey.
This is stunning. I love the different colours of the stone.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yes, it's all limestone, and then there's some marble used in it as well.
Next, Edda wants to show me the interior.
So, visors, shoes off?
Shoes off, and I will need to cover my head.
Süleymaniye is considered the finest mosque of the 500-year-long Ottoman rule.
It's spectacular, isn't it?
It is, right?
It's more colourful than I imagined.
And Edda has brought me here just in time to hear one of the most spectacular sounds in the city.
So, we're about to hear something that's very special. It's the call to prayer.
The call to prayer happens 5 times a day, when the muezzin summons Muslim worshippers to the mosque to pray.
I don't have strong religious feelings, but this is most certainly spiritual. It's soulful.
I've just realised this city, Istanbul, has been the centre of 3 huge empires.
Yes.
Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman.
Yes.
No other city has done that.
No. You know, Napoleon said if the world was one state, Constantinople would be her capital.
I've managed to have quite the adventure on my first day. But as the sun sets over Istanbul, I still have time to sample more of this city's incredible food.
There is something that I would really love for dinner, and I reckon it's something this city does incredibly well: a kebab. Now, in Istanbul, a kebab isn't something you have after the pub. Here, they take the kebab very seriously, and I mean very seriously indeed.
The streets of Beyoğlu come alive at night with people on the hunt for the perfect kebab. So I'm heading to a legendary neighbourhood grill house to meet up with local food writer Senem.
Good evening. Sinem?
Yes, and
Greg.
hello.
Oh, this place is nice. What sort of restaurant is this?
This is called a kebab restaurant, ocakbaşı. Everything grilled on charcoal is kebab for us.
So it doesn't have to come in a pita bread with salad?
No, it doesn't.
I can see things here that I would like to try.
Actually, as a local, I close the menu, I ask to the master.
What,
Okay.
Who's the master? The waiter?
No, the cook, the kebab master. Bakar mısınız?
Buyurun efendim.
Valla ben karar veremedim gene. En iyisi usta ne diyorsa olsun.
Tabii.
Teşekkür ederim.
Yeah.
I just order.
What did you say?
I leave it to the master, whatever he wants.
That's a fabulous way to do it.
Normally, you come always to the same master and you trust him. There you go.
Whoa! Mate, look at that!
The master has sent over minced lamb kebabs, shish kebabs and lamb ribs, but not a bit of chilli or garlic sauce in sight.
Normally in England, you add on top of your kebabs lots of sauce. We don't. My grandmother used to say, if you're going to add sauce on your meat, then it means that you're hiding something.
Oh, that is really succulent, moist. It's got chili in there as well.
I think I might be falling in love.
Lamb is my favourite meat in
Yeah.
the world.
Wow.
And this may be some of the softest lamb I've ever tasted.
We don't cook this at home. You need special skill to do that. It takes years to become a master. You start from the beginning, apprentices, then kalfa, which is semi-skilled, then you become the master, usta.
Is there any chance we could meet the master, maybe watch him working?
Yes, of course.
Sakir has been at the grill since he was 12 years old. And after 30 years' service, he is one of Istanbul's top kebab masters. I'm not sure my local kebab van man is as qualified.
Wow. If I was going to do this, what is the best advice he can give me?
Bir kere bu mesleği çok sevmesi lazım. Yani
First of all, you have to love this, being around the grill. We come to kebab house to be with the master, eat together around the grill.
So if I came here on my own, I could
you-
sit here,
Yes.
talk to the master, talk to
And-
people.
Yes, absolutely.
şef gelip kendisi yapsın buyurun.
Me?
Yes.
Ha, really?
Yes, he
Seriously?
wants you.
Buyurun ya.
Well, you don't turn down the chance to learn from a master 30 years in the making.
This is like being in a sauna.
Chef, take some fire under the other meat. Yeah. Chef, please turn your meat. Thank you.
Wow, that cooks quick. Wow, there's so much to think about. So all the time, I'm watching the meat,
Yeah.
I'm turning the meat,
Yeah.
I'm moving the fire.
Yeah.
I've got constant different stages of meat cooking.
You did better than me.
You've done 30 years, I've done 5 minutes.
If you work 1 week, you are going to the best.
You have no job. I will be master. world. This may be some of the softest
This at home. You need special skill to do that. It takes years to become a master. You start from the beginning, apprentices, then Kalfa, which is semi-skilled, then you become the master of stone.
Any chance we can make it after maybe watching the
Second, I've been with him since he was 12 years old. After 30 years service, he's one of Istanbul's top masters. I'm not sure why local fan is as qualified.
I was going to what is the best advice he can give? So if I take it on my own, see here,
Well, you don't turn down the chance to learn from a master 30 years in the making.
This is like being in a school.
Take some fire under meat.
Wow, that comes quick. Wow, there's so much to think about. So all this time, watching the people turning, unleashing the fire. I've got constantly stages of being here. You've done 30 years, and I've done 5 years. You have no job. I will be lost.
As this weekend away is a bit more adventurous, I'm not going to have breakfast at the hotel. Instead, I'm pushing the boat out and heading for a spot frequented by the locals.
Well, that is a stunning view. And what about this for breakfast? We normally eat in the hotels, don't we? And we have like an international buffet or maybe a fry-up. But how many of us actually sample local delicacies for breakfast?
This place seems to have a whole host of Turkish delights for me to try, and the dishes just keep coming.
Whoa. What is that? What is that? There's more. No way. What's that, sticky pastries? This can't be what they eat every day, surely. Where do you even start? I think that is scrambled eggs with peppers with melted cheese on top. That is lovely. This paste over here is apparently tahini with molasses. That's sweet. It's like mixing Nutella with peanut butter. That's what it's like. Mate, that is good. Honestly, if this was a typical breakfast, I think you'd have to be the Sultan to have enough time to eat it. But it's delicious. Look, if you are a little bit nervous, let me point out, there is cheese, there is sausage, there is marmalade, there's cream, and that's a bread basket. And that, basically, is scrambled eggs. Things we'd all recognise.
This morning, I am ready to explore the sounds and smells of the city and to soak up some local atmosphere. And in Istanbul, that can only mean one place.
Now, I know markets really well, but there can't be many bigger or better than the Grand Bazaar. I mean, even the name of it sounds huge and exotic. I'm really excited to see how they do it in here.
With dozens of streets and over 4,000 shops.
Electric Avenue. Look.
The Grand Bazaar is an easy place to get lost in. So I've arranged to meet up with local guide Fatosh.
Hello.
Hi.
You are Fatosh?
I am.
Fatosh, I need some help. This place is huge. When was it first built?
They started to build the oldest part of the bazaar at around 1455-56.
So why was it built?
Istanbul is located where Asian continent meets the European continent. And also, the Asian part of it is the last stops of the Silk Road.
What was being traded from east to west?
Silk, antiques, luxury items most of the time. And this was like a point of exchange where international tradesmen of the Mediterranean would just take the goods out to the rest of Europe.
Istanbul, straddling east and west, found itself perfectly positioned for the trade going both ways, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Getting your head around the scale of this place is a tall order, but Fatosh has a treat for me that she promises will give me the perfect overview.
I'm going to show you something really special. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, wow. We're up on the roof. Fabulous. So, from up here, you get a much better idea of the size, the scale. And it's huge.
Isn't it?
Does it go all the way up to the mosque?
The bazaar, yes, it does.
From what downstairs just looks like loads of alleyways, up here is actually symmetrical. There is a grid, isn't there?
Around where we are, it looks more grid plan. But further you walk towards that end, it gets a little bit tricky. And that's the fun part of it. It just, lends itself better for discoveries.
Coming up,
You feel that beat?
I get involved in some serious Turkish rhythms
That is brilliant. I could get into this.
and feast like an Ottoman emperor.
Oh my word. The smokiness is just stunning.
It's Saturday in Istanbul, the only major city to straddle two continents, Asia and Europe. Its strategic position has made it an amazing melting pot of culture, food and trade, and has also given rise to a powerful music tradition going back thousands of years.
When I'm away for a weekend, I want to soak up as much of the culture as I can. And here in Istanbul, I can see it, I've tasted it, about time I listen to it.
Turkish drumming is celebrated for its complex rhythms. It's a big part of weddings and national celebration, and is used to announce the holy month of Ramadan.
You feel that beat. You don't just hear it, do you? You can feel it.
I've come to see Hakan Kaya, a top folk drummer who runs workshops in the city.
That is fantastic. How long have you been playing the drums? You are very good.
I'm playing 20 years.
What is this drum called?
We say darbuka, originally from Egypt.
Ancient Egypt?
I think so. It's so old,
So is this drum played all over the Ottoman Empire, like from the Black Sea to the Mediterranean?
Yes, it is.
Why do you think music from a drum has survived for thousands of years?
When you're walking, you are in the rhythm, like everywhere. I listen to the bird sound and another sound, from the street,
Now, is it possible I could try?
Sure. I'm choosing one for you. Okay. I'm going to show you a basic pattern. I close all my finger, getting the bass sound. Bravo. And another sound is coming, we say slap. Exactly. Let's try this one. Dun, slap, slap. Dun, slap, slap. Dun, slap, slap. Continue, please. I'm playing now solo. Bravo!
I can't do it. Stop it. But I'm really happy with my boom, slap, slap. That is brilliant. I could get into this. I could really do this. I tell you what.
I'm sure you can play.
With the drum and the street food in Istanbul, I could live here.
My adventure in Istanbul is making me really get to grips with this fascinating city. But all that drumming's made me hungry.
So far, I've been bowled over by the street food and the cheap treats. But now I want to know what people eat round here for a special occasion. I want to go a little bit upmarket. I'm having a big night out, Istanbul style.
Mary Urshan is a British food historian who's lived in Istanbul for 30 years.
You must be Mary, right?
I am.
Mary, I wanted to taste something a bit luxurious, a bit opulent.
I have just the place. I'm going to take you to a place where you can taste the sort of food that they would have eaten on an elite person's table or at the palace.
Proper posh Ottoman. Lead on, lead on.
Mary has brought me to Pan Deli, a traditional restaurant whose chefs specialise in the food of the Ottoman court.
Oh, wow.
And she wants me to see one of the star ingredients in the kitchen.
Mary, what's he making, please?
He's making a dish called Hünkâr beğendi, and it means the Sultan liked it. It's an aubergine dish.
How is he cooking that? It looks like he's got it directly on the hot coals.
Yes, the outside has to burn to give it a smoky flavour.
Right. I love an aubergine, but over here it seems to be everywhere.
Yes.
Explain to me the love affair between Turkey and the aubergine.
It comes from India originally, and then it moved slowly westwards. They were eating a lot of them back in the 15th century, but it was more like an elite thing. But as time went on, more and more people ate it, and the dishes multiplied. Shall we go to our table?
Yeah, please. You've made me hungry. Come on. Sorry, chef.
The Ottoman kitchens were overflowing with exciting ingredients, pouring in from the trade routes. And Mary has promised me a feast that reflects that.
So how important would food have been in the court of the Sultan?
Extremely important. I mean, whatever happened, there was food. So the Sultan has a child, you're sending out jugs of sherbet to celebrate. They go off to the wars, you feast the soldiers. And nobody was cooking everything. Like one chef would specialise in making pilau, another one in making puddings.
So were chefs valued then?
Some of them earned such fortunes, the palace chefs. One founded a school. I mean, that takes a lot of money.
Do you know what I like the idea of?
Yes.
That celebrity chef is nothing new.
No, it isn't. Exactly.
Well, hey. Wow. Is this the aubergine dish that I saw cooking in the kitchen?
It is. So this is the roasted aubergine puree with a slightly smoky flavour, and then you put the lamb stew on top.
Oh, my word. That aubergine is absolutely incredible. The smokiness is just stunning. That is a lovely flavoured thing. So these are what?
That's the grey mullet eggs, and they salt it, dry it, and then they dip it in beeswax. This was much better thought of in Europe and here than caviar was.
No way.
Yeah,
what have you got then?
This is lamb stew with fried eggplants on top.
This is a lot of food for any sultan to get through.
Yes, but they didn't eat a whole plateful of anything. If you're a member of the elite, you eat just a few mouthfuls of one dish, the waiters take it away, they bring a second dish, you have a couple of mouthfuls of that, they take it away, and then they bring a pudding, they take it away. The rest of the dish would be eaten by your household.
Brilliant. I find incredible how sophisticated these dishes were, but I also absolutely love how important food was to their life. And I suppose you can still see it reflected in Istanbul today.
Yes, exactly.
Do you ever visit a kebab shop when you're back in England?
I did once and I never again.
For me, long weekends are all about splurging a little bit. So for my final morning, I'm forgoing a traditional breakfast and heading straight for the sweet stuff.
This city is packed with pastry shops selling sticky, gooey treats, and that's absolutely fine by me. And apparently this is the best neighbourhood to come and find them. There are hundreds of shops selling versions of baklava. And a little sugar hit, first thing in the morning, can't do you any harm, can it?
Baklava is a rich, sweet pastry made of layers of phyllo, filled with chopped nuts and lashings of syrup or honey. And during the Ottoman era, it was the dish for the Sultan's celebrations.
The classical ones are these. You can turn it upside down and you will have the taste better that way.
So you're supposed to eat it upside down?
Exactly.
I didn't know that. That is nowhere near as sweet as the ones I get at home. You get butter, almost a smell of pistachio, but the flaky pastry that normally sticks your mouth up disappears. That is a revelation. Right. Oh, that's not particularly sweet. It is just heavy, heavy with nut.
90% of that one is full of pistachio.
This one?
In that, there's a semolina cream and pistachio.
The finisher's a little bit like a creamy mozzarella.
Now that is breakfast.
Do you have a factory?
It's only 200 meters away from here, and you may see that.
I can go and watch the baklava being made?
Yeah, of course.
Listen, my friend, you and me are going to be very good friends.
Baklava has been made in Istanbul since the 15th century, and Murat's family firm has been going 200 years. Not much seems to have changed in that time.
This is impressive. Everybody's doing it by hand.
There's no machine for that, and not as good as by hand. We mix the dough, then we start rolling 10 layers very thin. In between the layers, he throws some starch.
Can I try?
Yeah, sure. You have to shake your wrist, not your whole arm. So it has to be like a powder. Shake your wrist.
Like this. Ah, this is better.
Exactly.
Yay!
The starch might be straightforward, but getting the dough see-through thin is much more of an acquired skill.
Now I've got 2 layers. Whoa, it's stuck.
Yeah.
This is really hard.
These guys knows how to treat the dough, how tough they should be or gentle. They have to be trained here at least for 6 or 7 years.
It can't take 6 or 7 years, really?
It does, and in this section, no one here is younger than 10 years experience here.
I might not have time to get the full 10 years experience, so Murat's letting me layer the phyllo instead.
Wow. That feels like a silk scarf.
Exactly.
Look at that's ridiculous.
Smooth. There will be 40 layers like this in
40.
one piece of baklava, yeah, 40. The next stage is adding some nuts in between the layers. You can give it a tray if you wish. Hold it like this and place them on the tray. Yeah. That's great. That's very good for the first time.
The baklava is then cut into squares and drenched in butter, ready for the oven. They bake 2 tons a day, so I'm sure they won't miss just one piece.
Can I try that? That is a delight. I feel now, for the first time ever, I have tasted the real baklava.
Coming up,
Sherifair.
I head to a paradise island for lunch.
It tastes like liquid blackjack on fire.
And my fortune is revealed in my cup of Turkish coffee.
That was scarily accurate. Who knew, right?
10 layers very thin. In between the layers, he throws some starch.
Can I try?
Yeah, sure. You have to shake your wrist, not your whole arm. So it has to be like a powder. Shake your wrist.
Like this. This is better.
Exactly.
Yay!
The starch might be straightforward, but getting the dough see-through thin is much more of an acquired skill.
Now I've got 2 layers. Whoa! It's stuck. This is really hard.
These guys knows how to treat the dough, how tough they should be or gentle. They have to be trained here at least for 6 or 7 years.
It can't take 6 or 7 years, really?
It does, and in this section, no one here is younger than 10 years experience here.
I might not have time to get the full 10 years experience, so Murat's letting me layer the phyllo instead.
Wow. That feels like a silk scarf.
Exactly.
Look at that's ridiculous.
There will be 40 layers like this.
40.
Of baklava, yeah, 40. The next stage is adding some nuts in between the layers. You can give it a tray if you wish. Hold it like this and place them on the tray. Yeah. That's great. That's very good for the first time.
The baklava is then cut into squares and drenched in butter, ready for the oven. They bake 2 tons a day, so I'm sure they won't miss just one piece.
Can I try that? That is a delight. I feel now, for the first time ever, I have tasted the real baklava.
Coming up,
Sherifair.
I head to a paradise island for lunch.
It tastes like liquid blackjack on fire.
And my fortune is revealed in my cup of Turkish coffee.
That was scarily accurate. Who knew, right?
It's the last day of my adventure in Istanbul, and to get me ready, I'm having a super strength pick-me-up.
Coffee is a big deal in Istanbul, but you've heard of Turkish coffee, right? It was brought here by Suleiman the Magnificent in 1540. He brought it to court. That made it popular throughout the empire. So popular, in fact, that young women used to get intensive training on coffee-making skills. They were then judged by their prospective husband on how good their coffee-making was, but not just their husbands, their possible future mother-in-laws as well. Now, how about that for strained in-law relations? Hey. Thank you.
Thanks.
Now that is a good-looking cup of coffee. That is beautiful, right? I mean, it's rich and it's got a bitter finish. It's a little bit like a double espresso that's been in the gym. And the difference is with Turkish coffee is you don't drink all the way down to the bottom because that's where the bits are.
Cafes like this don't just offer your standard caffeine boost.
Take your glass and close, please.
Apparently, the bits at the bottom of my jewelled cup hold the secrets of my future.
Okay, come with me.
Come with you? All right. If I'm not out, can you tell my wife I love her and I've got the money under the stairs?
In Turkey, fortune tellers use coffee grains to predict the future rather than a crystal ball. And many cafes have their own in-house fortune tellers.
Hello.
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 You must choose 10 card.
Açıyorum kahveyi.
How does the coffee work with the cards?
Şu anlamda söyleyeyim. Ben kartları çektirerek, karşı tarafa çektirerek karşı tarafın enerjisini alıyorum. Kahvede de sadece hislerimle burada çıkan şekilleri yorumlayıp bunlarla birleştiriyorum. Kartlarla birleştiriyorum.
You're getting terribly tense here.
Hayatımda bir beraberlik olduğunu ve bu beraberlikle ilgili de uzun yıllardır bir beraberliği olduğunu hissediyorum de. Bu beraberliğinde mutlu olduğunu, onlara daha çok vakit ayırmanız gerektiği, aile bireylerinle daha çok zaman geçirmeniz gerektiğini söylüyor kartlarınız. Yani yalnızca iş.
I mean, this is true. I'm a bit of a workaholic.
Kahvesine ve tarot kartlarına baktığımda bir parça paniğinin olduğu, yani yapacağı şeylerde biraz heyecan ve panik yaptığını, bununla alakalı kendisine birazcık daha sakin olmasını, yapması gerektiği şeylerde biraz daha düşünerek hareket etmesi gerektiğini söylüyor kahvesi.
That is true. That is true. Oh my word. I have to be completely frank with you and say that was scarily accurate. Who knew, right? You are amazing.
Thank you.
Whatever the truth of the cards, it's almost the end of an amazing weekend, and I'm starting to feel at home here. I've got time for one last meal, so for my Sunday lunch, I'm doing what the locals do.
Well, like many people, what the locals like to do at the weekend is escape the hustle and bustle of the city. But rather than go out to the countryside, here they like to go and visit an island. And that's exactly what I'm doing. You can actually get ferries to and from the islands, but this is a sea taxi. But better than the taxis at home, because here the driver doesn't want to talk to you about football or politics.
"25 kilometres from the city is Princess Island, where wealthy Ottomans built summer houses and political exiles were sent in the 19th century. It's still an escape for Istanbul residents at the weekends.
Thank you very much.
I've been invited to a feast with some locals who come to these islands regularly.
Doesn't feel like a city break anymore, does it?
The restaurants here are famous for their meze, small plates of hot and cold food.
Hello.
Hi.
What a beautiful spot.
Welcome to the island.
So is this a tradition like this, a big lunch?
It's a way to escape the city. We've ordered a selection of mezzes that we think you should try.
Is meze Turkish?
Meze is Turkish, but it's originally Persian name. Maza means flavored.
Right, the meze is here.
Yeah.
These small plates are the perfect way of sampling loads of different flavours.
I hope you like it, because Turks are very proud of their meze. Before you start, we need to serve the rakı, because that's part of the ritual of the table.
What is rakı?
Rakı is distilled grape and basically with aniseed.
Like a Greek ouzo or a French pastis?
Yeah, very similar.
How do you say cheers in Turkish?
We say şerefe. Şeref means honor. That I keep everything secret that we talk on this table.
Because when you drink rakı, you open your heart and you tell everything.
This is a terrifying lunch.
Welcome.
Şerefe.
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 Yeah.
It tastes like a liquid blackjack on fire.
Mezes are representing ethnic diversity of Turkey, especially Istanbul. So you can find many Armenian dishes, Greek dishes, some Arabic influence, Syrian influence. This one, it's pilaki, which is very common Armenian food.
This is
zucchini
flowers.
Zucchini fiori, a stuffed courgette flower. This is good food. What's inside the vine leaves? Do you know?
And rice.
They sometimes cook vine leaves with cherries in the sauce. That's what gives it the dark colour.
It gives it darkness. It also gives it sweetness as well. Sweet like a sweet wine. I think this is a lovely way of eating. You get to sample many different textures and flavours. When you get a big course put in front of you, that's what you have to. But this way, you can pick and you can take your time.
Yes.
A lunch like this could go on for hours.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
As much as I'd love my island lunch to last all day, the airport is calling. I've had an amazing 3 days, and it goes to show that even though it's a bit of a longer flight, it's definitely worth it for the adventure.
I love Istanbul. It just feels very different. It doesn't feel like you're in Europe, even though most of it is. The architecture's different, the view, the scenery's very different. I think it's got some of the best food in the world, and I really believe that. This is the crossroads of the world. It feels exciting, exotic, and at times, downright adventurous.